parents and that their grandparents fought for, and I knew that I couldn't stop climbing.
Speaking.
I thought about my friend Dr. Frida Milhouse Jones and how her medical practice in our home city of Atlanta was devastated by gun violence. How a patient sitting in the waiting room lost her life that day, Amy St. Pierre. I thought about the fact that her 2 young children experienced their first Mother's Day without their mom, the beginning of a new school year without their mom, and I knew that I had to keep climbing. I thought about A.J. Owens being slaughtered in front of her children in Ocala, Florida, murdered doing what mothers do, defending them, and I knew that we must keep climbing. I thought about neo-Nazis standing at the gates of Disney World, greeting families preparing for a day of lifelong happy memories with hate. What did the mothers tell their children that day? I thought about Lori Carlton, a mother of 9, 25 years after brutal slaying of Matthew Shepard, shot and killed for hanging a pride flag outside of her own business. And I knew that we must all keep climbing. So my friends, we will keep climbing. We are here to liberate the soul of the nation, the soul of democracy from those forces who would have us all go backwards and perish rather than go forward as sisters and brothers. We will never betray those who marched for us, fought for us, lived for us, died for us. We are the children and the grandchildren of their struggles, and we will be worthy of their sacrifices. This is about freedom. This is about peace. This is about love. This is about our children. We are not here for commemoration. We are here for a rededication to the fight for a future where at long last America's practice will be as good as its promise. And today, hate is being shaken to its core. Walls are crashing down, walls of racism, bigotry, intolerance, anti-Semitism, xenophobia. And as they tumble down, you will hear the sounds of liberation and love. That's what happens when we stand together, when we climb together. Today, let us not look back in anger, nor forward in fear, but around us in awareness. And let me say to the women, we weren't able to speak in 1963, but we are here in 2023. And women are unwavering warriors. I know that we stand in different faiths, but let's go to the Bible for a moment. Moses was able to tell Pharaoh, let my people go, only because he was saved by his sister Miriam as an infant. Deborah helped lead the Israelites to victory out of bondage. Esther risked her life to save her people. And let's just go to the story of Easter as I close. After all of the disciples had fled, it was women who stood at the foot of the cross. Jesus' body was released to a mother. Women prepared his body for burial. Women stood outside his tomb, and it was to a woman that he first appeared after the resurrection. Women are unwavering warriors, and today we will no longer be silenced. Thank you very much. Yolanda Renee King.
Good afternoon. I mean, how am I supposed to go after that? Please give my mom a round of applause. If I could speak to my grandfather today, I would say, I am sorry we still have to be here to rededicate ourselves to finishing your work and ultimately realizing your hidden dream. 60 years ago, Dr. King urged us to struggle against the triple evils of racism, poverty, and bigotry. Today, racism is still with us. Poverty is still with us. And now gun violence has come for our places of worship, our schools, and our shopping centers. And that's not the only problem that earlier generations didn't expect, but my generation cannot escape. We have been warned about air and water pollution. We have been warned about global warming. And now All my life, we have worried about environmental justice for communities of color and under-resourced people everywhere. But this summer, and for the rest of our lives, my generation will be worrying about global boiling. We need to do more than end racism on our planet. We need to do more than end poverty on our planet. We need to save our planet. When people say my generation is cynical, we say cynicism is a luxury we cannot afford. If you look like me, you could have fewer voting rights on your 18th birthday than America promised you on the day you were born. Let's think about that for a second. Fewer rights than we were promised. If you're a young woman like me, you could have fewer personal rights. And no matter who you are, you could be less safe from random gun violence and irreversible climate change. That's why I believe that my generation will be defined by action, not apathy. And so the next piece that I will be sharing with you all will be very interactive. And I want you to repeat this chant that some of you may have heard. And I've done this throughout the years and I've shared it with people. And so I think that we really need this during this really critical moment in our history. So I would encourage everyone to stand up and repeat these words after me. Spread the word.
Spread the word.
Have you heard?
Have you heard?
All across the nation.
All across the nation.
We are going to be a great generation. Now, one thing about making an impact is that you have to be powerful, and I think that we have so much power. So I want you to fight the heat, and we're going to put some more energy into it. Are you all ready? Spread the word! Have you heard? All across the nation, we are going to be a great generation. Now they say that the third time is the charm. So we have to do it one more time. If we want the world to hear this, if we want future generations to hear this, if we want to really make an impact, I want you to say it in your loudest voice. Spread the word! Have you heard? All across the nation, we are going to be a great generation. Now give yourselves a hand. And everyone, please welcome my father.
As I stand here this afternoon on this representation of the 60th anniversary, as you know, it is actually Monday. But I'm going to do something a little different because our time, I'm told, has been cut to about less than 5 minutes, and Reverend Sharpton must come up. But I want to let you know how I'm feeling today, because I'm very concerned about the direction our country is going in. And it is because instead of moving forward, it feels as if we're moving backward. The question is, what are we going to do? Do we realize that it is we the people who can make changes, represent history in the right way, ensure that hatred and hostility is not espoused all over our nation? As you know, my mother and father dedicated their lives to embracing love and lifting up the goodness in people. In fact, if somebody was 90% bad, Dad would focus on the 10% good and work to extract that from them. And so Andrea shared a lot, Yolanda shared a lot. I don't have to say that much this time. There will be other times. But we need us all to be engaged. Dad would probably say, now is the time. We must preserve, protect, and expand democracy. We must ensure that voting rights is protected for all people. We must ensure that our women and children are treated fairly. We must end gun violence. Then, maybe one day we will be a great nation. We are not personifying greatness right now. But you know what? Dad and Mom taught us it takes a few good women and men to bring about change. So as I get ready to close, you may ask the question, well, Brother King, we understand what happened with history. We don't like it or accept it. We understand what happened with voting rights. We don't like it, but we must change it. But you may be asking that question that my father asked back in the late 50s. How long will it be? Well, I don't know exactly how long it'll be. But what I do know is no lie can last forever. How long, you may ask, will it be before we get our freedom? I don't know, but truth plus the earth will rise again. How long? Not long. Because the moral arc of the universe is long, but bends toward justice. How long? Not long, because God Almighty is still on the throne. Let's not give up. Let's not give in. Let's not give out. We must move forward to make this nation the nation that it ought to be for all of God's children. Thank you, and God bless you.
This is the 60th continuation.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand to your feet and let's welcome the president and founder of the National Action Network, the Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton.
All right. Rev.
No justice. No justice.
No peace.
No justice. We're not going to take long because we have to move out for the march. Let me say this, all of you under the trees, come on out because we're going to line up. Today was a day to show our strength. Thousands of you come 60 years later to say that we are the continuation of a movement. 60 years later, we are facing affirmative action being suspended, and there are people that are trying to go after businesses. You heard from the Fearless Fund. They're going after diversity in large corporations. They're going after firms. I want to announce today that we're going to fight back. We are not going to let you take affirmative action and diversity firms. I'm like a doctor. I'll make house calls. We will march on the homes and the companies that if you think you can take money out of our community and cut us off, we are not going to allow that. We're going to have a fall of economic sanctions against those that bow to this. Secondly, we're building a unity here. When we see blacks and Jews and Latinos and Asians come together, they're trying to separate us. When Martin Luther King III and Andrea Waters King has orchestrated, along with us in National Action Network, is a unity that we are not going to take this. We're going to march and show thousands of us in these streets going together. They will not be able to turn back the clock. They want to stop blacks from voting. We're going to vote anyhow. No matter how hard you make it, we coming anyhow. They're going to try to put women back in the kitchen with an apron. We're not going back in the kitchen. We're not putting the apron back on. They're trying to tell gays get back in the closet. We're not going back in the closet. We're going to lock the closet. We're going to stand up for who we are and where we are and what we are. Our fathers fought for this, and we're going to maintain it. 60 years ago, Martin Luther King talked about a dream. 60 years later, we're the dreamers. The problem is we're facing the schemers. It's the streamers on one side, the schemers on the other. The dreamers are fighting for voting rights. The schemers are changing voter regulations in states. The dreamers are standing up for women's right to choose. The schemers are arguing whether they're going to make you stop at 6 weeks or 15 weeks. The dreamers are saying that if you're LGBTQ or trans, you have a right to your life. The schemers are saying we're going to make you look like you're something that should not be tolerated in human society. It's the dreamers against the schemers. The dreamers are in Washington, D.C. The schemers are being booked in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Fulton County jail.
Hey.
The dreamers will win. The dreamers will march. The dreamers will stand up. Black, white, Jewish, LGBTQ. We are the dreamers. We're the children of the dream. Let us march in the name of the dreamers. Let's stand up together, arm in arm. That's why Jonathan Greenblatt's here. That's why McGuire is here. That's why civil rights leaders are here. It's time to march. Everybody line up, and we're going to march from Lincoln's Memorial to the King Memorial. The dreamers facing the schemers.
Okay, the actual march begins.
I have a dream.
I have a dream.
I have a dream.
All right. Blessings.